What about money? Was there better money elsewhere, or?
Yes.
Well, it turns out that, well, I didn't know what Lester paid, you know, I had no idea. But he paid a salary, which is something I'd never seen in my whole life.
And by that you mean it was the same amount every week rather than by a job?
Yeah, but you know, you did a lot. You did Martha White radio shows, you did Martha White TV shows, and you traveled a lot. You know, it was a lot to the job.
But it was consistent every week.
Yeah, right. And driving the bus and all that, you know.
And the Bluegrass Boys, how were you paid? By the show?
By the job, yeah. Which is what most everybody did.
Yeah.
At that time.
I think the scale was $25 a day then.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Of course, cost of living was.
Oh, it was, yeah.
You could eat a meal for $1.50.
Yeah. I remember when the Opry spot paid, I think it was first one I did paid like $7 or something like that.
And what is it now?
I don't know what it is.
$7.50.
$7.50. You're totally right, Larry. Anyone else? Nancy?
What work did you guys do on the place of Bee Blossom? Did you do any work on the benches and stage?
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. We did everything from, oh, go ahead. We did everything from cutting down trees to hauling lumber. Well, we didn't actually haul the lumber. We cut them down and the truck would come pick them up, take them.
We also had to pick up trash, remember that, don't you?
Yeah, well, I tried to forget that part.
And we sold tickets for the people coming in the gate.
Yeah, we finished up just about the time the gates opened. The people were coming in and we still needed to take a shower, you know.
Then we were going to go.
Well, tell us, Vic, about the new chainsaw. Who got stuck with that?
Oh, well, it was a long time before Bill got any power tools. They had all, I told you about the cross cuts, so, and did I say that up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Kenny Baker, I think, talked him in to get the chainsaw. I think it was Kenny, I don't know for sure. And it made things a lot easier, you know. And of course, Kenny cut himself pretty bad with a chainsaw one time, but I mean, it was okay. He took him to the doctor, he got stitched up, he was fine. But most of it was hammer and nails and saws and the usual carpentry stuff, you know.
Did you have a question here in the front table?
Dave Blood, up here. James, from the time that you first started, I'd been watching Bill and probably from 1960 on, and talking about you getting on the guitar, and we remember all of us that were in my party, probably 6 or 8 of us, we'd be watching at any various number of festivals. He'd be coming up on Uncle Pam, and you'd start tensing up. And say, is he going to hit it this time? Is he going to hit it this time? And it was just, everybody sat there watching you say, is he going to do it? Yes, he did it.
Well, I was going through this thing of trying to learn the kind of pick I needed to, you know, if you have a heavy one, then you start learning how to use that. I didn't start out with a heavy pick, and so I started like a medium pick. And my strings, when you hit your G run, you have to roll it in there, you know, pop it in there. And it depends on the pick you use. And I started out with the wrong kind of pick, I think, you know, but after I figured out the right kind of gauge, then I did all right with it, you know. But that's pretty intense to have to, you're the one that's relied on to kick that song off, you know. So if you blow that run up, the old man would look at you like there's something wrong with you.
It looked like Bill would be watching you with a grin on his face.
Yeah.
For him to see if you were going to do it.
Yeah. Everybody was hoping I would do it, you know. I'm not the only Bluegrass boy that ever missed that G run, I promise you. Wayne Lewis has never got it right yet. And hey, in fact, my father just stopped letting him even try it. He would just kick off Uncle Pam just with the fiddles. Wayne didn't even get a chance anymore to do the G run, you know.
I imagine there's been a lot of guitar players tense up.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir.
Katy, I've got a question. Jeff Morris. Could Vic, you or Roland or James talk about bus trips? I'm very, very interested in what took place and how it was, because often you used to drive all night, and I'm always interested in who drove the bus and why, etc. Some bus trip incidents, if you could.
You're looking at the 3 bus drivers, right?
One time, we was coming back from Kentucky somewhere, and we stopped. That's when they had the medium. They had the little restaurants in the medium of the interstate.
No, I know.
And I think Roland, you and I went in to get some coffee, and we came back out. We just took off back towards Nashville, coming home. And we got down to the next interchange, and they said, "You've left somebody." So me and Roland got scared immediately. We knew who it probably was. You know. He went back and said, "Yeah, his bunk's empty, man." so we went back up there to pick up my father. You know, he came into the bus, never said a word to us. And the next week now, he said, he waited a week, and he said, "Y'all need to start looking in the bunks before y'all take off now. Before you leave." You know.
But he didn't need to tell you that he was getting off the bus.
I mean, we knew we was in trouble. You know.
So we're used to thinking of these buses now as quite luxurious with kitchens and bathrooms and showers and all. What was the bus like inside?
Yeah, that's all wrong. Oh, they were pretty nice, you know. And,
Really?
Yeah, everybody had their own bunks.
Yeah, the bunks were comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I slept pretty well on it.
Yeah.
Had a trouble with like the heating and cooling. That's where
Yeah,
our main
That's where
trouble
the
was.
biggest problems are in those buses. But we, you know, we took turns driving. It was never a big problem or anything.
Did someone sit up with you to make sure you didn't fall asleep?
If they weren't too sleepy, yeah.
Well, my father set up a lot. He would play the mandolin while you were driving
yeah,
out.
He did. That's,
I'll tell you what, I wish I'd have had a tape recorder on the dashboard, because sometimes he'd come up there through the night. I'm talking 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else is in bed and you're driving the bus. And he's sitting in the front seat over there just playing what comes over, whatever comes to the top of his head, you know. And I'd give anything to push up there, reach up there and push the record button, you know, and get some of that stuff on tape. Because you might never hear it again, you know.
yeah, I felt the same way, but I think that if he'd have known you were recording him, he wouldn't have played that.
Probably, you're probably right, yeah.
And that's the way I feel. I never asked him, but I learned a lot about mandolin playing. You know, his approach to old time tunes. You know, to everything. You know, just him, listen to him play while I'm driving the bus. You know, just amazing. Yeah.
So when you say you learned a lot about mandolin, I'd like to ask each of you, what did you take away musically from him? What did you learn specifically from Bill Monroe's music? And what did you take away as a person? What values, what, I guess, work habits? What did you take away as a man from Bill Monroe?
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Work ethic?
Yeah, and especially when it comes to your music. And, Bill was the kind of individual that you didn't complain about it. If something had to be done, you just did.
Yeah.
That's all there was to it. You know, you didn't worry about things. And keep your mind on the music. And he was a great leader. And an inspiration, I think, to everybody that ever played with him, as far as I know. And, you know, he would never really come down on you in a critical sort of way. He might suggest something or insinuate something, you know, but he never really got on you, you know.
It was a good time for a young guy like we were to grow up.
Absolutely.
It helped me become, you know, learn how to get along with people. And when you got 4 or 5 men in a bus together or a car, you got to learn how to get along. And so he taught us a lot by growing up, I think, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I found out one thing, that once you have a friend, a real friend, he's always a friend.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was a leader without control. You know.
A lot of people think he was hard to deal with, but he wasn't.
No, I did
Not for me.
He just wanted his music played the way he wanted it played.
That's
Right, just play my music.
Why does everyone imitate the voice?
I don't know.
It's fun, it's neat, yeah.
It's so distinctive.
He no part of nothing.
Well, I have a Bill Monroe story that he was a very strong man, and I can tell you he was strong because in 1981 they were playing at Wolf Trap, and the Wolf Trap stage is huge, and I was the MC. I just had a brand new baby and was standing backstage behind the velvet curtain, and Bill Monroe threw his mandolin behind his back, and he looked over and he started walking straight at me. He had his eyes right on my eyes, and I thought, oh my God, what's wrong? I thought he was going to come and say, tell the sound man this, or, you know, chew me about. He reached behind that curtain and got almost a death grip on my wrist and yanked me out on the stage, and he danced me all around that stage. Now, I cannot dance, never have been able to, and it really was like he was, what is it called? Planting posts or something. Or moving Sinclair oil barrels. I don't know what it was, but he got me back to my space behind that curtain and back to the microphone before the break was over. That's how fast it was. And I think he was in early 70s at that time. So he was a very strong man, but I've heard of stories. Pete Kuykendall tells one about arriving at Bean Blossom. He wanted to put the camper in, and Bill picking up the end of a telephone pole and moving it himself without any help at all. So he was a very, very strong man. Do you have any strength stories?
Let's see. There's quite a few, and I can't.
But he would do that when he shook hands with you if you weren't careful.
Oh, yeah.
He'd take a whole, like, just gonna shake hands with you, listen, he'd yank you all over the place.
A lot of the musicians at the Opry would, they loved my father, you know, they was good friends, but they would try to hide from him, because people like Grandpa Jones or Bill Carlisle, they was really up in years, so they loved my dad, but they would try to hide from him because he would jerk them around, you know, and just playing with them. But they said they wasn't in shape to be jerked around at their age, so they when they caught my father sitting down, then they come and talk to him sometimes.
He caught me like that one time when I went backstage at the Opry. This is after I was working with a group called Country Gazette, and occasionally when I was in town, I'd go to the Opry and visit, and I always go to Bill's room, dressing room, and one day he was sitting in his chair, he says, come on, step over and grabs my hand. And he just, I mean, he didn't jerk me, but he just pulled on me, and then like that, and I almost fell on top of him. I mean, it was amazing. I caught the back of a chair or something to hold myself up. I said, man, you're lucky I could catch myself up. He just laughed.
Yeah, I was holding a cup of coffee in my hand one day, and he was coming in the office, and I pushed the door open somewhat. He shook hands with me and jerked me. Well, the coffee went all over my left hand. He just chuckled about that. He was funny. He was something.
So a bit of a prankster, huh?
He was that.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody play jokes on him or not dare to?
I don't remember it.
Well, me and Baker tried it one time with a hat deal. I told that story in Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, but
Well, tell us.
we was going to not wear our, me and Katy decided we didn't want to wear our hats anymore at the Opry, you know. So we came up with the reasons why. When my father caught me coming in, he said, where's your hat? And I said, I forgot it. And Kenny Baker comes in, he says, Kenny, where's your hat at? And Kenny said, I don't know, Bill, I can't find it. He said, well, both you can go home, because I won't need you on the Opry tonight. So that ended our hat deal right there. You know?
So there was a dress code, and he always looked sharp. And what was the dress code besides the hat?
That's what I remember, it was coats and ties.
Yeah.
We didn't particularly wear
Keep your
suits.
shoes shined. He always said,
Yeah.
keep your shoes
Right.
shined.
But did you have to have matching suits or
Well, we
same
did,
color?
yeah, later on we really did that. You know.
Shortly after I came in the band, we started doing
Yeah, we started really getting the suits in order, you know.
But he insisted on, jackets.
Yeah, and no yard pants. Yeah, had nice clothes, you know, slides, you know.
So he was aware of the image all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
With the hat.
But he used to talk about they used to make fun of the hillbilly look, you know, years ago, and the hay bales and stuff. He couldn't stand that.
Yeah.
He said his group was always going to dress up nice. He would never be tagged as a hillbilly type of an artist. He said that's the reason too that he really he and his brother, Uncle Charlie, my uncle, they would always wear real nice suits and stuff.